What's up guys, Mitch here, and welcome back to Movement Mondays. Today we're talking about the rotator cuff, and actually rotator cuff tears. So we have an interesting client in today, he's awesome, and we're talking about his sort of shoulder position as we move. And we're going to kind of take a look at the anatomy of the shoulder, but essentially what happens is you bring your arm up overhead into either this position or into this position. All the muscles of the shoulder have to kind of fire at the same time to take that humeral head, or the arm bone, keep it in the scapula, the shoulder blade, and drive it up overhead. If any of those muscles aren't working well, then something's going to kind of go wonky. So you want to see this good sort of straight upward movement. If someone's rotator cuff's going, something wonky going on, they'll start to kind of cheat it up or sort of sneak up like this. So we're going to show you a good example of that today, and then some exercises you can do if you have that issue to correct this stuff at home. So I'm going to grab this camera, and I'm going to sneak it over here at Bill. Here's Bill. Wave hi, Bill.
Hey, how are you?
So Bill, I want you to bring both arms up to the side like this. Great, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Perfect. So you can see he sits pretty straight up there on this side. He's starting to shrug his shoulder and really kind of sneak up here. Come back down for us, Bill. And one more time, show us again. So he comes up, you can really see that arm doesn't want to come up, and he's had this pain in his shoulder here for quite a while. How long have you had it, Bill?
A month or so.
Month or so, and he's kind of realizing, I can't really use my arm too well. And if you come down, and then come up in front this way. Awesome, and again, you see you really can't, really go up overhead for us, Bill. All the way up, all the way up. You see, you really can't open up like we'd like him to as much on this side. You can tell there's some strength and movement missing as he comes up overhead. So come back down, Bill. You can see him hiking through his shoulder. So if I could show you guys something quickly on here. So if we're just talking about the shoulder anatomy, interestingly the picture here, and this is kind of the back of the shoulder blade, and we can see these different muscles of the rotator cuff that kind of plug around. And if these muscles aren't moving well or firing well, or they're torn or on that shoulder, when this shoulder becomes to come up overhead, we're going to see this kind of butt up, or the shoulder muscles up here, these traps sort of turn on to try to compensate, and that's why we see that shoulder kind of shrug for him to get his arm up overhead. So, what does that mean? You can sneak that over to me, Bill, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Great. So what that means is if we want to get his shoulder blade active, if we're starting from sort of ground one with Bill, is we want to just activate this stuff. So we do something called isometrics. What that means is just moving into something without actually moving to activate the muscles. So we want to do that, turn our arm out, turn our arm in, push our arm forward, and push our arm back. For Bill, more specifically, it's an external rotator issue, so we want to more push out into external rotation, but we do this against a wall. So he's here, pushing out comfortably into that resistance, holding it for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relaxing and doing that 5 times in a row to get that position, and we can slowly kind of turn that out. We should see his movement improve as he kind of activates that a little bit better. So first, just isometrics to activate it. Then we move over to things like bands. So when that gets feeling better, we call this the arachnoid because there's tons of bands on it, but you can kind of get a good band and then do that same movement into external rotation out this way through motion, really focusing on slowly bringing it back. And we can play with ranges of the shoulder out to the side here. So if he gets really good here, we can move that up into different ranges to really get good range of motion. And actually, I really like, if you're having trouble keeping your shoulder back and activating it, is taking a loop band like this, sneaking that around the back of your shoulder, and then around your back. It's almost like a little backpack. But then what this does is it kind of pulls your shoulder blade back, so you kind of have to fight into that and hold your shoulder blade back in a good stable position, and then you're going to twist out into external rotation of your shoulder. So I really like that for more later stages when someone's having trouble kind of stabilizing while they're working on the rotation. But as our range improves and we get more stability above range this way and that way, we can kind of progress things into that. So again, that's rotator cuff tears for today, guys, or an interesting one we saw here with Bill. Some ways to work on that, some isometrics or non-moving contractions, progress ourselves to some banded work, and then getting into some more fancy stuff. When all that stuff's feeling good, make sure you get back your kind of balance work on your arm, things like push-ups and closed chains. But start with that stuff. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Bill.